Boy, oh boy, do we got a little video for you today. This chipper just got a complete facelift to this thing. It's like a whole new chipper. She got some serious work done to it. All new wiring, a bunch of new hydraulics. The cab is all new. It is pretty nice. So, as you can tell, if the older videos, you'd have to jump up there, start it, jump up by your little motor, start that one. This one, you've got both right here, and it's just see how yeah, see, it starts up that easy. There you go. So, we just got done chipping for the day. This thing looked beautiful a couple days ago. It's still pretty clean, but yeah, it got all new wiring, and a lot of the hydraulics got work done. We got to tweak a few things. A feed wheel in the back. I got to tighten up my belts again on this chipper. We just made that video for the old chipper. They're a little loose. They're not bad. Didn't give me no problems today. Yesterday they smoked just a little bit. Once I realized that, then I could kind of watch out for it. And I could baby it just a little bit. But so let's do a little walk around of this chipper here. So, yeah, we'll start. Got new lights everywhere. There's lights all over this thing now. This is all new, as you can tell. All kinds of new stuff, all new wiring, new throttle box. The throttle works on this. If you remember before, we had the old bungee cord hooked up to right here for your throttle. Had the bungee cord hooked up, and I'd hook it into there or here, and we would run it off from that wide open, just a screaming. But now we don't have to do that. It's all controlled from in the cab. So you literally fire it up, kick both motors, and then get in the cab and rev it up like you're supposed to. So this thing's running more and more like it's supposed to compared to before. She was in pretty rough shape in the past. It's got some new bearings kicking around on it too, but it's just a lot cleaner. As far as there's not wires and boxes all over that don't need to be on here. Before there was all kinds of stuff. So here we go. Right in here is where the action's at. And this is so much nicer. If you can remember the last one, which you probably can't, because I don't know if I made a video of inside it or not. The last one had joysticks with just one button on them for your feed wheels. The yokes, you got one right here and then one right there. And that was your down pressure and to lift them. But this thing got redesigned. And obviously the new seat, this is all right here the same as the new chipper. Both joysticks are exactly the same, and the seat's the same, and as you can tell, there's no foot pedal anymore. So your swings in here, that has been a topic of discussion, because in the chipper they put the swing right here, and when I got in the buncher, the swing's in your left hand and excavators are in your left hand. Kind of like the chippers are the only one with them in the right hand. There's been very little bit of talk about possibly switching that. It would just throw my brain into complete obliteration. but it might be a good thing. Be easier to run for other people. So that's been a topic of discussion that we haven't done anything about yet. So, but what we did was these joysticks are the exact same. The buttons are all the same as the new chipper. Your grapple spins right here and here. The yoke underneath you is right here, up and down. And the conveyor reverse is right here. And the auger reverse is right here for the new chipper. This doesn't have an auger, so you don't need it. And then over here is your second yoke, up and down. So there's a couple empty spaces, which is totally fine. And then your reverse. This will stop your feed wheels if you hold this one down. And this trigger here, that will kick your feed wheels in reverse. And then it's got the kind of the same setup that it had before there. It's got all new stuff up here. Okay. This is the first time that gauges have actually worked inside the cab. Now, we had this kind of worked on before, and the guy didn't do a really good job. He put new gauges, not one of them worked. So when I got in here and seen all new gauges, it was really nice. But to have them actually work is even really nice, because we had it before, and it was kind of got halfway rewired before. That now it's completely done the way it's supposed to, and everything is really nice. So you got your light switch there, a little 12-volt power, your stiff legs up and down, and then both your throttles right there. For the Flail motor, you have your engine temp, your oil pressure, and your RPMs, and it's the same setup over here. But new unit here, which the last one, the seat smashed up against it, which smashed up against your controls, which your controls are all jacked up. So now this here with this seat, it just works so nice. The heat works, no air conditioning hooked up yet. We don't have to worry about the air conditioning yet, but we do have to worry about the heat. So we got the heat hooked up. We'll eventually get the air conditioning working. Trust me, because it will get really hot in here. We need to start working on that. For some reason, when they redid everything, they took the condenser off, and it needs a new pump and lines and condenser, yada yada yada. So we'll get all that going. But that's kind of the inside of the cab, and she's got lights wrapped around it like a Christmas tree. And that's the one really nice thing about it, is that it controls like the other one. My feet would literally go numb after doing 2 or 3 loads from the foot swing, going back and forth and back and forth. And it had some slop in it, so it was even giving you more fits. Anyways, this runs pretty slick, and it's nice for somebody like Josh, who's run the new chipper, to jump in this one, and the controls are all the same, and to do that. So it's a little nicer. But yeah, this thing is coming around. I have one hydraulic leak. I fixed one hydraulic leak. I actually have 2. I've got one there, and my hose is on the other side for my grapple rotate. Just started leaking that last load. Isn't a real big deal, because you just don't have to use your rotate. You can live without it. But I gotta fix that tonight. And I got a leak down here. It's kind of hard to find. May have to have some help when I'm running it, to have somebody watch it and get it straightened out. So on the grapple, got all new hoses, some new pins in there, and it's all tightened up. That was really slopped out before. Everything's tighter on there. Mitchell's cleaning up behind the chipper, which needed to be done. He's doing a good job. I didn't have to tell him to do that, which is nice when you don't have to tell people what to do. So it just looks a lot more streamlined. Before, there was wires hanging down and lines hanging down, and they did a really nice job of sticking the wires up there out of the way. New box for your wire action. It goes from there into the cab. It just looks really, really, really clean. Those are all new hoses, and you can see this is a new hose. A lot of new hoses up in there. These are some olden goldies right here, golden oldies. But yeah, that little motor does need a new pump. That thing's probably junk if it's been open in the elements. But it's got a new starter on here, okay? And it's a bunch of other solenoids and stuff up there. I don't know exactly what all they're used for, but I'll tell you one thing. This thing starts twice as easy as it did before. It didn't start that bad before, especially when it was warmed up, but she fires up really nice now. So whatever they did there, it works really good. It does have a new radiator on here for your V12. That's all new. Yeah, those are real cheap, so you just buy them by the dozen and get a bunch of radiators for this thing. But that's a brand new radiator because the other one was leaking. But that's about it. New suction lines on it. I think I got a little leak coming out of my pump right here. You can kind of see the mist on there a little bit. I think I'm leaking on a seal on that pump it up. That pump there. These are all new suction lines on it. That's really nice. Yeah, it's just running the old girl isn't as bad as it used to be. With the wiring straightened out a little bit, and the cab and the seat and the controls, it's actually pretty nice. Now I screwed up when we set it up. They didn't have the chains for the conveyor sticking out. You can see the ones missing right there. I hooked it up, and I think what I did was when I hooked it up to that cylinder there, that chain, I think I might have wrapped it underneath the hydraulic line, and when we went to flip this out, it pulled the threads on the cylinder. So that's why we have this giant mess here, because he hasn't cleaned it out yet, but I can't lift it up. So that's getting fixed because of my screw up. But the conveyor's going a little bit too fast. That's one thing that I gotta straighten out. It's going a little too fast. We're gonna fix that, and I have one feed wheel giving me fits. Same one that we had before that we've made videos about. And I think it got us through that last load fine. I kind of Johnny rigged it. My keyway keeps falling out in there. And so to rig her up, you just put a hose clamp on there. And actually my hose clamp is half off. So we gotta fix that, get that fixed. But missing a little guard right there. Just a few little things. Mitchell. Just a few little things to get straightened out. And we'll be back in business. So, yeah, we got some feed wheels in there. The bottom one's new on this chipper. It works great as long as that keyway. Once that keyway falls out, then it doesn't work so well. So, anywho, that's the walk around of the rebuilt 2755. Some new solenoids and wires and hoses. There's a bunch of new hoses up there, which is really nice. And he redid on the back of the cab. That's really nice. That wasn't like that before. It just kind of punched through a hole, which when you put the floor in the cab, you couldn't do that, so it had to get all redone. But I have to get back to work. I gotta fix them leaks. J&J crew just showed up, so I'm gonna con them into helping me, hopefully. And we're gonna get some work done on this, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get some chipping videos, because we're rolling wood out of here like crazy. Thanks for watching. just keep rolling. Love all you guys. We'll catch you later in the next episode of That Chipper Guy.